Transgender means you come out as a little girl or a little boy, and then they started, hey, I don't feel like I'm a girl at all. So you come out as a girl and then are raised as a boy, or come out as a boy and raised as a girl. And non-binary means that you don't believe that you're really a girl, but you don't believe you're a boy.
Yeah, she's been educated about how there's no genders. You can just move around, have any gender. No one has gender. There's no such thing as gender. There's 100 of them, and you can just pick one and trade. It's like Pokemon cards.
I was married before in a lesbian relationship that essentially dissolved because of my transition.
I identify as being really just in the gray area, I guess. I feel masculine, I feel feminine. I like boy clothes, I like girl clothes. I'm not a boy or a girl. I was previously married.
So if you like boy clothes and girl clothes and you're a girl, that means you don't have any gender. Okay, that makes sense.
So for sexuality and gender, essentially everything in our house is fluid. For sexuality and gender, essentially everything in our house is fluid. Fluid meaning that anyone can like anyone, and we encourage her to be open to any type of relationship.
Keep in mind, this little kid they're talking about is what, 5, 6? But they're talking about the past, right? They're not talking about yesterday. So what, since birth pretty much, these people have been telling their child that you could have relations with anyone you want, man, woman. Why would you talk about sex with your little kid like that? You don't hear straight people going to their kids saying, to a 5-year-old or a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old, hey, when you have a relationship and you have a sex, you got to have sex with you got to have, because you're a boy, you got to have sex with a girl. No one says that to the little kid. Only pedophiles do this kind of crap. Only pedophiles.
Whether it be with male identifying, female, queer, bi, whatever.
I think it's important to speak to children about these aspects.
Like, how does a kid even know what bisexuality is? This kid is like, and the parents are teaching her that you can be with anyone. Bisexual, that means they have to explain what bisexual is to this kid. 3 years ago, she was what? 3 years old at that time? What kind of parents are these? To realize this kid, now, like for a spouse, you have taken the options that this kid would have had as a boy, right? He would have options, millions of people. Now, doing this gender thing and this trans thing, you have eliminated all hope for this child to grow up and have a family. You know what I mean? To have a girlfriend and be a normal person, right? And I'm not saying if this kid is gay or trans, then yeah, whatever. But this kid is this kid has been brainwashed, okay? That's the part I have a problem with. Gender dysphoria is basically defined as confusion about gender. And this kid is confused about gender. That's all they're doing. They're saying there's 100 genders, and, like, they don't, a child these ages, 3, 4, 5, they don't even know what the number 100 is. So if they don't know what the number is, 100, how are they going to understand 100 different genders? If they can't even understand the actual number 100. They don't even barely know what 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think the main uniqueness that we have is our openness of being queer and our desire to raise our child without any bounds. So you are a girl, you must be like this, or you are a boy, you must be like this. That doesn't exist in our house, and it never will. So
there's no structure whatsoever. None.
We really like to make sure our child knows that however she feels to express herself, just like us, it's ever growing and ever changing.
Yeah, you can be just like us if you want. Yeah, we don't care about your life. You know, that it would be a lot easier for you to just conform to the whatever. No, we don't care about that. What we care about is our activism. Our activism means more than our own child itself. We don't care about our child as much as activism.
And we really encourage that exploration.
Oh yeah, they encourage it. That's we can see that.
It's really special about my father
Yep.
that he is transgender.
Yep, it's very special. She know if one thing this kid knows that if you are trans, you are special. That's one thing that she knows for damn sure. She's been taught since birth. You are special if you can be trans. But she's not being brainwashed in any way.
And all I know that she's transgender.
Claire we're really raising her just to be open, to be however she wants to be without any need for a label or identity, and that
Yeah, so she can be anything she wants except for a boy or a girl. You know what I mean? Or her own. She can be anything she wants as long as it doesn't line up with her gender and her sex doesn't line up. Then she can be anything she wants and be special. But if she wants to just be, because she's a boy, right? If he wants to just be a boy, no. He's not special then. He can only be special if he's trans.
she will, in time, discover who she is, just as we have.
They're going to sterilize that kid. They're going to sterilize that freaking kid.
Flu in Sweden. I'm about to go meet a family who are attempting to bring up their kids free from all gender norms. Were both assigned male at birth, but in this family, the sex you were born with does not dictate your gender identity.
We don't gender toys, we don't gender colors, so whatever they're interested in.
It's like they can just play with whatever toys they want, and you would never dictate what those toys were.
No, absolutely not. So they both have a lot of cars, and they both have dolls.
And what about with clothing?
Right now, Mika is, for the past 2 months, has worn a dress every day, just about. When Mika's wearing dresses, and because Mika has very, very long hair, most people assume that Mika's female. Names. We chose not to know what sex they would be assigned when they were born. Not answering the question, is it a boy or a girl, to avoid the B word and the G word.
And they're not trying to erase boys and girls. The B word and the G word, like it's a dirty word to be a boy or a girl. You have to be some kind of gender, whatever.
Mama!
Changing pronouns in books. Instead of it always being mama, we say mama and mapa. What's the...
Yeah, all they do is read gender dysphoria books to their child, and then they wonder why their child grows up to be gender dysphoria. But they don't care. They'll tell you, they'll admit that that's what they're doing on purpose.
Dad or sweetie, ask mapa. It's so dark. Don't be afraid, says mapa. I'll call this one or this one. You want this one. Okay, we're going to go with the red and black theme today then. Good idea. Today, I do hon, han eller hen idag.
He's asking the kid, what do you want me to call you today? A boy, a girl, or, gender fluid, whatever. They call it a hen.
Let's go.
Mika seems like neither a boy nor a girl, just non-binary. And when you ask Mika about Mika's gender, Mika just doesn't really want to talk about it.
Yeah.
At home.
Because she probably has to hear about it all day long.
So these pictures are basically breaking down the boundaries of different stereotypes. This is like a soft father figure.
Precis. Och tvärtom då?
Sleeping Beauty says no.
Yeah.
So they basically show their kids cartoon books all day long with propaganda in it. Read it. It's story time. It's, again, propaganda books about gender.
Lesbian mums. When it comes to gender creative teaching, the most influential person in Sweden is Lotta Ryelin, who started the country's first gender-neutral kindergarten.
How
would you describe Igalia?
It's all about democracy. For children to have the right to be what they are, what they feel like they are, regardless of gender, class, sexuality. It's about anti-discrimination.
Do these dolls have a gender?
No, not what we can tell the children, but the children, they play, they never ask. It's not important for the children.
Why are they giving naked dolls to kids at school? How does this, like, that isn't pedophile behavior.
Okay. We tend to divide this life spectra into two pieces. One for boys and one for girls. More often pink is for girls and blue is for boys. When we call a boy cool and strong, and to girls we more often say that they should be helpful, nice, cute, and we have different expectations.
Yeah, because men are strong and women are not when it comes to brute force. Yeah, what's going to happen to when your country has no strong men in it? Because you keep telling them that's not cool to be a strong man. You got to be non-binary. You got to be a little girl. You got to be feminine. You got to cry. You got to be weak. What happens to a country who has a bunch of weak-ass little bitch men in their country? Maybe another country that doesn't have a lot of bitch men in their country is going to take over?
So we are not limiting, we are just adding. We are not changing the children, we are changing our own thoughts.
No, you're changing the children by teaching them crap.
While a more gender-neutral focus in kindergartens is fully adopted by the Swedish government.
It's basically that the parents brainwash their kids from birth to say, you don't have any gender. There's no such thing as gender. Then they created an indoctrination kindergarten thing here to fully immerse them in being non-gender, which is meaningless, basically. If your girl plays with trucks, that means that they're non-binary. Why can't it just be a girl playing with trucks? Why can't it just be that?
Even in liberal Sweden, there's no shortage of critics. Dr. Eberhard has written books on raising kids, and a recent article he wrote heavily criticised attitudes to gender in Swedish kindergartens. Why do you disagree with the Swedish government's recommendation that schools do not reinforce gender norms?
I think it's damaging because it tells us that behaviors that are typical for boys, typical for girls, is problematic. It's a brainwashing strategy that you are eradicating sex differences, which I do oppose. Okay. The major problem in Sweden, I would say, is that our boys fail in school, not the girls. Our boys are committing suicide, not the girls. So the problem today in Sweden is with the boys.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to be a man. Because if you have men in your country, you can't take it over. But if you have little bitch men in your country, right, then you can easily control everyone in the country. Because who's going to stand up to them? If there ain't no strong men, who is going to stand up?
If you have this law that you should treat boys like hens, it implies that you should not behave like the boy you were born to be. It should not be the government who tells our kids how they should react. It should be up to them. And I would like our kids to be kids.
As while adults will clearly disagree on how to teach kids about gender, it's ultimately the children who are affected. Del takes Mika and Nico shopping.
I want you to notice, no one, you're going to see like at least 30 people in this video. Literally 0 people are staring at this couple, okay? Even though they're trans and they're all whatever, if you look at them, the trans guy looks like a guy, you know what I mean? The kids, you know, even though they're dressed as girls or whatever and they're boys or whatever the heck is going on there, they all look normal. Nobody looks, you know, it's not like a dude has a beard and a dress and walks into the store. Yeah, everyone's going to be looking at him. This family looks totally normal when you look at them. Okay, you can't tell any of them are trans or cross-dressers or whatever the hell, right? But they portray this lie, this hate. What hate? I want